Starting for TeamLiquid.net to the top left of the map of Belgium Vestige. The Protoss player in red. He's called
Liquid Hero.
Having a tough time so far.
Yeah, he did not win a single game so far just yet. But he's not out. He is not in Code A just yet. We could see him in Code S, but to do so, he has to defeat his opponent at the bottom right. This is the Terran player who could go to Code S if he wins this map. It is
SK Telecom T1 Fantasy.
So currently the situation in the group is as follows. We have Maru already in Code S with 3 wins and not a single loss. Fantasy, you see him on screen right now, he is on 2 wins and 1 loss. If he takes the game against Hero, he will advance. And there is still a chance that if Fantasy loses here, that NST could potentially also advance. We could have a 3-way tie between Fantasy, Hero and NST here. Keen is the only player in the group who today will not have a chance of advancing anymore.
It's true. He's the only one who's already out. Fantasy on this map, Belcher Vestige, is going to show a unique build for a 2-player map against a Protoss. He's going to go Command Center first. Hero will scout this and will actually be able to harass this with his probe he sends out very early. And this is important information for Hero to get. He's going to be very happy that he scouted. And the question becomes, after he sees this, does he pull out of gas and go for his own Nexus, or does he try to put pressure on? Oh, he's even going to block the barracks a little bit.
He's trying to for a second, and he actually pulls it off. Well done, but in the end he has to get away with the probe. Ooh, he nearly lost the probe.
Yeah, 5 hit points left.
Has to wait for the shields to regenerate before he can actually do something. Nice arc here, making sure that the SCV doesn't get close enough to take him down.
Yep, it's a really good angle.
Now he can run away.
Yeah, now he's okay. He's not walled in either, so probe gets out. And he doesn't want to get out.
He decides to stick around, see when exactly those gases are being built for the Terran player, and he sees that Fantasy is starting with the refinery here now.
And Hero's response is to, in fact, pull out of gas and start his own Nexus.
Yep. Now with the Nexus and the Cybernetics core being started at the same time, the probe is still lingering, trying to find out what exactly is going to happen here. Just a little bit annoying, making sure also that Fantasy can't mine with that one harvester.
Yeah, and if he starts a factory, or rather if he continues to mine here, it doesn't add the add-on at the barracks, it's going to start to look like he's going to add the factory. He's not going to be able to stick around to see the factory because the Marine will be out. But he's like, well, I see no tech lab. You're either that or a reactor, so you're either going into the factory or your tech is delayed.
Yeah. And so far, looking at the games that Hero has played, he was not really successful. I already mentioned that he's 0-2 in the group, but one of the opponents that he lost to was Maru, one of the Terran players that we have in this group. The other one was the Zerg player. He lost against NST too, so definitely in a situation where he desperately needs to win for his own confidence and also to survive in this group. Fantasy, he's eager to advance to Korea. He really wants to go there. Was a little bit sad probably when he lost to Maru, especially since Maru used exactly the same strategy against Fantasy that Fantasy used to take down Keen.
I just can't get over how ironic and terrible this is for Keen that this happens like this to him.
I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, it is hilarious from a spectator's perspective, I suppose. Yes. Ooh.
Yeah, if you think about it, Keen actually lost to a double barracks opening twice today, even though he faced it only once.
Exactly. He was killed by it.
Yeah. And we have a Stargate opening for Hero. That's actually a strategy that I haven't seen in an eternity.
A late Stargate, like probably going to be Phoenix's, but this isn't usually used like this.
Like, when StarCraft first came out, StarCraft 2, you saw Stargate openings against Terran a little bit more frequently. Back then, everything evolved around the Marine tank push. And if you had a few Phoenixes in your army composition, you could actually just pick up the tanks, fight the Marines, and then focus on the siege tanks after that. But this has been like 1.5 years ago, maybe even 2 years ago. So this is definitely not the strategy that we saw back then.
Yeah, and, well, he pulls out of the natural when he sees those 2 Hellions. I guess because he knows the Stalkers can't get back in time, but those are only 2 Hellions. This is a smart choice to pull out.
No probe left behind.
That was actually really well done. And now, yeah, he's losing mining time, but he's not going to take permanent damage here. Uh-oh. This probe's coming down, though.
I'm sad for the probe that was built ran into the Hellions and that.
He's getting into the main, and this is a problem because he's not only going to kill pros, he's going to scout the Stargate tech. The Phoenix lifts one of the Hellions.
Yeah, and here's the Hellion, and now this is the time where Fantasy is looking at this like, what? Phoenixes? Okay. Is he going to cancel Cloak? Well, doesn't look like he's going to cancel Cloak. He has the first Banshee already in the game. He's building the second one now. So he really wants to stick with his build. Needs to be careful with the first Banshee. The Phoenixes are actually about to intercept it.
This is such a cool build by Hero because it kind of counters what... now he's killing a little more probes. It counters what he saw with the gas. He was like, this is probably going to be a Banshee follow-up, just like I've seen earlier from you in... well, actually from Maru, in fact, in this group.
The Banshee has to wait a little bit longer. He can't start to attack right away. He has to wait for the Cloak upgrade. There it is, waiting a little bit.
This is really smart because even if he waits, he builds up more energy. As long as the Phoenixes don't see him, he's going to have a little bit more cloak time.
With what we have here, there is no detection.
Yeah,
nothing.
And the Phoenixes are all the way on the other side of the map.
They can't even do anything.
Couldn't do anything
there is
even
no
if they were
detection. He's just now getting the Forge and also the Robo. He has to wait for that.
And Hellions are coming back into the natural while the Stalkers come up.
Oh my god.
He's got a wall set, but it's not set for the left side.
This could be worse. This could not be worse anymore. Look at those probes. They don't stand a chance here in the main base. They're being killed by the Banshee at the natural. They're taken out by the Hellions. He's losing so many. He lost 31. Fantasy took down 31 probes.
This is insanely bad for Hero, and it's not over yet. The Banshee with 10 more cloak energy is going to kill a few more probes before he's finally killed by the Phoenixes.
19 probes to 47 SCVs.
But consider that Fantasy now has to defend what the follow-up is because he only has 6 Marines and that's it. He has no Banshees left, and Hero has 5 Stalkers, 2 Zealots, 3 Phoenixes, and 6 Sentries. This may be Hero's last attempt. Fantasy doesn't even have enough Marines to fill any more bunkers, but I would be surprised to see him not add any more.
He needs to do a massive amount of damage now. Hero, that is. He still has a chance here, but he needs to do a lot.
Yeah, and Fantasy still only has 6 Marines. He's got now a Marauder out. He needs to get everything into those bunkers.
And he's trying to. Here's the bunkers ready. And
why is he in the main right now? Oh, this is exactly what Hero wants. Hero wants him to be in the main so he can attack at the natural. Well, there's nothing there. Nobody's in those bunkers. There's only 2 Marauders there.
Here we go. No units in the bunker. He's trying to get into the second and the third one. The SCVs are there to repair. Fantasy with 73 supply against 60.
Great
Hero has a lot, but does he have enough?
You know, he hesitates here a little bit.
It's too late, Wolf.
And every second he waits, more and more units are coming out of those new barracks.
The production is just way too strong now. 2 Marines at a time, 1 Marauder. He's getting those upgrades. The SCVs are there to repair.
SCV repair. The turret even working on the Phoenixes.
So many force fields being used, but can he pull this off? He's trying to. He's taking down a lot of SCVs.
The units are the bigger problem. He has really no units left to attack. It's only the SCVs he's fighting with right now. A few Marines left with those medevacs. The medevacs have to run from the Phoenixes.
He has 7 Marines and he has Stim. And also another Marauder. I don't think that Hero can really push through here. And we still have double the amount of Harvesters for Fantasy and the additional Mules.
Yeah, and he's got the bunkers filled again. I think he needs to just make another turret. He cannot throw units away like that, though.
His production is too strong
The
now.
medevacs are going to help the SCVs repair. I mean, it sounds weird, but that's what's going to happen.
There are 3 Marauders at a time being built, plus 1 armor is going to be
Hero
there
can't
in a
wait.
second. Now the combat shield is about to be done. Those bunkers are still alive. He's repairing them. Hero is trying to end this game. He's trying to push through, but there is such a huge force for Fantasy now.
Sentry's just not doing enough damage here. The Stim, the Marauders, it's too much for him. Hero says GG, and Fantasy is in Code S.
Congratulations to Fantasy. He just advanced to Code S. Well done. Fantasy takes the win. Hero is 0-3 in the group. Didn't win a single game today.
Hero getting a little bit unlucky with his Phoenixes not spotting the Banshees. If he had, this would have been a very different game. It was actually a smart idea for him to go Stargate, assuming there was either going to be drops or Banshees from that gas that he saw early on. If you get a gas that fast after an early command center, it only means one of those 2 things, and he got the Stargate to deal with both. He just missed the Banshees.
The Cloak killed him. The Cloak upgrade definitely killed him, and then he fell apart. He had to deal with the Cloak Banshee in the main base without detection. At the natural, he had to actually work against the Hellions, so that was definitely...
If you find the Banshees,
just like...
you can either force an early Cloak, if he has Cloak at that time, or you can kill the Banshee before it's there.
One thing, guys, I think that's going to be revealed right now anyway, so we might as well point it out. We have the 2 players that go into Code S, but we are going to play the rest of the games up to the point where we know who's going to be third place, because there is the option, it's not confirmed just yet or anything, but there is still the option that we are going to have wildcard
It's possible
group.
we have a wildcard group.
Exactly. Yesterday we didn't need extra games because in yesterday's groups, as it turned out, as soon as we had the 2 players ready that were going to Code S, we already knew who would be third place. Today it's a different scenario. We have already the 2 players that are going to Code S. It's going to be Maru and it's going to be Fantasy, but there is still the option for a few players to go, actually for all of the players that we have here, for Keen, Nesty and Hero to take third place. This might become important. It doesn't necessarily have to. There is no decision just yet if there's going to be a wildcard group, but just in case, we're going to play the matches up to the point where we have a third place.
Well, Maru versus Nesty is going to be a pretty cool match, so I don't mind it. Yeah. And the map is Akalon Flats. Nesty really struggling against Terrence. He's said so in a lot of his chat lobbies, just joking with our Korean observer, saying, I'm just really not liking playing against Terran these days. And having some trouble. We'll see if he can turn things around against Maru. And the map is loaded. We're going into it right now. Who will get third and enter a possible wildcard group? That's what we're here to find out here at the GSL Up and Downs Outer Rumble.